Okay, so I know usually I do this at night once the market's closed, but the market's still open for another hour. But the reason I'm doing this right now is because of what's actually going on, and what I want to say is that one thing I've learned throughout, all the smart money concepts and stuff is that it's very bullish. It can just continue bullish, honestly, because it swept out these highs, and it can continue. But these being the all-time highs, that being consistently swept out, it is bullish, but we're doomed for a retracement at least into this, because this, I mean, sorry, into at least into this order block, into these fair value gaps here, because these are big imbalances. This right here is 2 weeks of imbalance. This. And this right here is months of imbalance. If we go in the monthly time frame, we have imbalance here and an imbalance here. Now what? It can just continue on up, come back down, hit this order block, and then rally back. But, this isn't going to be known for maybe a month or two. But right now, what I'm seeing is that I want to see it at least come down to here, like give me a little reversal or something. Give me something to play off of. Because there's nothing. It's just bull. We had this 4 hour. And the reason I'm making this is because I'm a little convinced on why isn't this 4 hour candle moving anything. And on NASDAQ, we have the same 4 hour imbalance. Honestly, let me just do this on NQ. We have mad imbalances here. Right here, this imbalance got closed. So now it's like giving me a reversal, kind of. If this forms a fair value gap, this is the inversion. If this forms one, it doesn't come up here and continue the consolidation, I would be a little convinced that we're going to get a reversal to the downside. And if there's one thing that I've learned through the market is this. The consolidation phase, like here, always leads to an expansion. This consolidation is going to lead to an expansion. Now, depending on what PD array it hits, let's say it sweeps this out, then I could probably see it going a little higher. But, like, consolidation, expansion. Consolidation, expansion. This one's a little bit this one's not really consolidated. It's just a failure swing. This one just sweeps this. Completely tanks. Unless there's a higher time frame liquidity. Anyway. What I'm seeing here is engineered liquidity. This is completely, remember this is engineered liquidity. When the market's not really sweeping out on both sides of the market, it's engineering this liquidity. So eventually this is going to have to be rebalanced. See, it swept out this, so we could kind of just delete. But there's so much engineered liquidity. There's so many lows that haven't gotten taken care of. Especially on SPX. Right now we're doing NASDAQ, but this was a sweep, so this was the sweep of liquidity. Then we had a break of structure to the upside, consolidate a little bit. And now it came down. The reason this is being respected is because it has this fair value gap, and it has this order block here that is playing within. Wish I had more than one rectangle so it didn't look the same, but yeah, here's an order block. So it came down into here, respecting this fair value gap, but I do think it's shifting. Like, I know we've been bullish, but see, this could also be seen as engineering liquidity, so we're in a weird spot that we have these highs, but it's kept breaking through. Kept breaking through higher highs, higher highs. Here's an old entry. The only issue is we have this change of character here. Because we were breaking structure to the upside, breaking structure to the upside, continuing, and then boom, change of character. So now we can be looking for shorts at least until a liquidity sweep happens on either side of the market. You know, we could be playing in this, respecting this, then go back up, but I just don't see that happening. I kind of see it like if the market came down here, I think it wants to go down, at least sweep out this liquidity here and maybe even deeper. It has a lot of sell side. That's the issue. It's like you don't know what to target because there's so much sell side. All of this is sell side. But depending where we open, this week has a lot of news, so I'm not really going to be trading. But this one was just a complete rebalance. And it's weird because it didn't really even sweep out much. It didn't sweep out anything. Just consolidated. Boom. And it's weird because usually NASDAQ in this, they follow each other, but today it was like we have this fair value gap in the 4 hour and NASDAQ rebalanced it. S&P is just standing. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a whole day, 24 hours of consolidation. But to me, it looked better to trade, honestly, because at least this way you can make moves on both sides, even though it's consolidating. Where did it open today? Opened right here on this big push. So the way I set up my trading days, I mark out New York open. And we could do like sell side liquidity down here and sell side liquidity down here. See what it sweeps out. Right? And then we have, let me remove this. And then we have this fair value gap. Does it respect it? No, just consolidates. This is a 15. I want to go to the 15. Gotta remember these imbalances. So that's giving a bullish. Then we go to the 15 minute. It just closes underneath this one, but then wicks into this one. So then usually, well, first off, you would mark out the equilibrium of this range to this range. So this is halfway point. So you'd be at least looking to target this fair value gap. And you have this order block here. So this would have been like a nice entry. When it closed like this had a big down move. And so this is a doji. So it shows that the price is like very indecisive. And when it's like that, then you could expect a reversal. So then now we're leading into this. We ended up dojiing, respecting this fair value gap, sweeping out this liquidity. We didn't sweep out this one. Guess it wasn't necessary. And now we could go to a lower time frame, see what's really happening. And so we have a 5-minute break of structure here, and this is at 12:45, so I'm not really looking at the markets. I look from 9:30 to 11. But we have a break of structure here. And then we have these fair value gaps. And we wouldn't really be looking at that. We'd be looking at this one first, but got ran through. Once you get into a price range like this, from here to here, where the first down candle's made like this, you start measuring equilibrium. So here's equilibrium, right in line with this break of structure, and in line with this fair value gap. So you target this fair value gap right here. This is how you enter a trade. You target this fair value gap, and if you want to enter off the equilibrium of it, you can. But I like a little bit more confidence. it also tapped into this one down here. So then you go into the 1 minute. This is usually how I do it, so I can understand exactly what I'm getting into. And the second it shows that price is moving away and respecting it, like right here, and it broke this structure, that's a beautiful entry. And then you put your stops underneath the low. So it would be like this, stops underneath here. And then you could target, I don't know, you could target this. You target buy-side liquidity. So if you want to be extremely safe and like get the low-hanging fruit, you could target here, this buy-side, because they're equal highs. But it's a 1 to 1.28, so that's a really trash trade. So what I would do, I would probably, if I have multiple contracts, I would just go for maybe this one first, close whatever profits I get, and then move my stop to break even. So whatever I have will just run for profits. And then your next target would be this liquidity right there, this high. You could either do this high, or this high. If you want to do the highest high, you can. And it's still running. Like, this is exactly how the trade would be if you were waiting for it to hit your take profit. I do think it hit it here. High 492.05. 492. Yeah, so they're equal. So I would have gotten out. And that's pretty much how the market works. And this is live. So you could see, like, if you were in this position, it would still work out. It's not like some after recording, hand picking. I'm just reviewing through the day, back testing a little bit. Anyway, I took a trade today. Didn't go as I hoped. I actually got stopped out. Pretty unfortunate. This is why I don't trade on news days, because today was a big news day. This candle went from here to here within 5 minutes, and I entered in thinking it was going to rebalance that and go to these highs. I entered in off a 1 minute break of structure, and that was my fault. I should have had higher confluence. I just entered in off of this, and it consolidated for like from 10 to 10:40 before stopping me out. And I had my stops right here, so I got actually stopped out at 10:30. And yeah, so that, some days I just wasn't on the right side of the market today. If this was on SPX, which I usually trade, I would have been good. But for some reason, NASDAQ went to sink real deep. And I'm not mad about it. Lose some, win some. The only thing I should have done is respected this, because this was a 5 minute break of structure to the downside and then a fair value gap. And I'm like, and it has this wasn't here at the time, but usually the price, when it runs up like this, it's going to have a rebalance, because it needs to be rebalanced on the south side. That's why they're imbalances. So I should have anticipated that. The only reason I thought I was good, because I was in equilibrium when I entered, and it was showing that it wanted to go up a little bit. So I was like, okay, this might be a solid trade. Nope. Didn't respect it at all. And that's just how it is sometimes. This was the real issue for me. This 5 minute fair value gap. And once we closed above it like this, I was like, oh, okay, so we might actually, but still sank. Usually if you close above a fair value gap, it's going to respect it and create it as an inversion. But then it sank down, created this one. This could have been, knowing that I was on the wrong side of the market. After I take a trade, I'm done. So I get off the market. But I knew that it was going lower. After that, I had the confluence. So if I was looking for a secondary entry, it would have been off of this one. Respecting it. 15 minute looked like shit today. But it would have been off of that one 100%. And I should have anticipated these order blocks like right here. Yeah. What are you going to do? And this was, yeah, so that was an L day. This definitely was a good move though to catch. Had the right structure and everything. Could have shorted that all the way down because it's not an issue. Sometimes I don't pay attention. And then you put your stop right above this high. And you're short first point of liquidity. And then you're short. Yeah, that could be the first point. Second point would be like you go into the higher time frame. There's a pretty drastic move. You get this whole 1 hour down candle. So around there, yep. And then you could target this one for a 1 to 6. That would be a nice trade. I mean, it would probably end up going over here once it comes up into this imbalance here. Let me see what this price range is. Where's the equilibrium? So equilibrium's up here. Alright, anyway, I just wanted to get into that because I feel like the market's, even though it's rallying higher, I feel like it's still engineering mad sell side liquidity. If you look, this is all unprotected. All of this. And so it's like unprotected. It didn't sweep nothing. This didn't sweep anything. I mean, it swept this 4 hour, but this didn't really sweep much. This didn't really sweep anything. And it was just like, they're just mad unprotected lows. So I feel like this is the market. It's engineering. And then you get this no sweep. This would have been my entry if I got a sweep on this low. It didn't tap into this. It didn't sweep this. So I was like, okay. And you're waiting, and then it just rockets up. Anyway, this is gonna expand either up or down, but I know it's gonna expand hard. But what I'm thinking is, I mean, market's been creating all-time highs higher and higher, but if it sweeps this and then it could expand lower, but it would have done that on NASDAQ already. So anyway, we'll see. God bless. How we going?